Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Seattle. Good morning, Vancouver. And good evening, Thailand. Welcome to the Dhamma program from Wat Dhamma and also welcome to the Dhamma program of the Wat Putta Banya, Nataram, Vancouver, Canada. What I have brought for you today is about the teaching of the Dhamma. It's very great teaching of the Dhamma of the Buddha. I have brought what is called Dhammapada, or ในภาษาไทยเราเรียกกันว่าพระธรรมบทเป็นคาถาอันทรงคุณค่าแก่การศึกษาแล้วก็นำเอาไปปฏิบัติแล้วก็เชื่อมโยงระหว่างภาคความรู้กับภาคปฏิบัติให้เกิดความชัดเจนให้สำลิดผล The point that I want to talk about the Dhammapada today is about getting a connection between a knowledge and the implementation or the practice. And that is the heart of the Buddha teaching, that once you know, you have to also do. So the theoretical knowledge and also the practical knowledge, or the knowledge that occur from the practice, that is basically the heart of the Buddha teaching. So today I have brought 5 Dhammapadas, or nice accents of Thai languages. มีอยู่5ธรรมบทที่ได้นำมาฝากญาติโยมทุกท่านในวันนี้ที่กำลังชมรายการDhamma for Life. The first Dhammapada that I have brought today, say in Bali, is a Dhammapada number 12. Let me talk a little bit about the Dhammapada, what it means. Like, it's the teaching of the Buddha in the form of simile, in the form of poem, or in the form of the metaphor, analogy can be used, can be termed as the Dhammapada. There are altogether 26 groups, or 26 groups of the Buddha teaching, that including all 423 teaching of the Buddha. Today I have brought 5, and then I'm going to bring some more in the following times when we come next time, and then we can run by number of the Dhammapada. The first one that I have brought today is the Dhammapada number 12, which the words in Pali saying the Saranja Sarato Yatawa Asaranja Asarato Te Sarang Ati Kanshati Samma Sankappa Akha Jala. So this is what appear in the Tripitaka, in the Pali Canon. I guess from the book number 25 of the Tripitaka. So what does it mean? It means those who see the essence as essence, and non-essence as non-essence, do arrive at the essence. At the essence, the right thoughts are their restraint. So if we take a look at the full description of this, we can translate it like when you see something that always having or offer you a benefit or an advantage for your life, for your living, then you pick, then you go to, then you start studying about it. In the other side, in the other way, if you're seeing something is not giving you a profit, not giving you a benefit or an advantage, you're supposed to not to go into it, not to study into it. So the purpose of the teaching is you have to verify, you have to contemplate, or you have to consider what is good for you, what is not. And then you make a decision, a wise decision for the one that should benefit you, should benefit others. May I translate into Thai for those who are not clearly understanding in English? พระพุทธเจ้าทรงตรัสว่าชนเหล่าใดเห็นสิ่งที่มีสาระว่ามีสาระเห็นสิ่งที่ไม่มีสาระว่าไม่มีสาระชนเหล่านั้นย่อมได้รับสาระมีความดำริชอบเป็นที่ยึดเหนี่ยว Once again สารัญจะสารโตยตวาอสารัญจะอสารโตเตสารังอธิฆชันติสัมมาสังกัปปะสักขจลา This Dhammapada was come into the story of Pra Sariputta, who is one of the great disciples of the Buddha. The key word is in the Sankappa, the right intention. The right intention is fall under the Noble Eightfold Path. That was called Samma Sankappa. And the essence, the keyword of, beside the keyword of Samma Sankappa is Asara and Asara. Means Sara means essence. Asara means non-essence. Samma Sankappa can be also termed as the right thought. ในภาษาไทยเราก็บอกว่ามีดำริชอบหรือว่าเจตนาชอบ So this is the first Dhammapada that I have brought for you. in the way that we living, we should go and seeking for the thing that really giving us a benefit. For example, we have to living along the Dhamma. We should learn the Dhamma. We should practice the Dhamma. For example, like the meditation, the concentration meditation. Or if you want to move up higher level of the practice the Dhamma, it vipassana or insight meditation. This kind of practice, this kind of action are essence or essential. Something that not essential, for example, like go to the casino, drinking, gambling, or overplaying. The thinking that offer you a benefit for living your life. For example, you're supposed to think about what is really benefit. For example, thinking about what is suffering, what is the cause of the suffering, what is the cessation of the suffering, and how to eradicate the suffering. That's what we're supposed to think. That was supposed we supposed to talk about when we are in a company or when we associate with our friends and families. So think something that benefits you, talk something that benefits you, and do something that benefits you. And do not think, do not speak, do not act something that's not benefit. So this is the whole the whole meaning of the simile, of the metaphor that the Buddha offered to the Sariputta. Then we can move on to the second Dhammapada, which is the Dhammapada number 20. The Buddha say, "Apampiche sanghitang pasamano dhammasa sahoti anuttamma." Let me project to the full words of the Buddha. 1 second. So this one is very interesting in the way that the Buddha giving an approach to everyone. For example, disciples, the Brahmin, or the Ubasika who come to visit him. Number 20. Let me go back to the origin or the original version of the Yeah, the full version is saying the apampiche sanghitang pasamano dhammassa hoti anuthammajari lakhanca thosanca pahaya mohang sammapachano suvimutta citto anupathiya no itha ithawa hulangwa sa phakawa samanyasa hoti. So if I bring the English, it will be a little thought. No, I'm sorry. The little though he recite the sacred text, but put the teaching into the practice. For asking lust, hatred, and delusion with the true wisdom and emancipate mind, clinging to nothing of this or any other world. He indeed partakes of the blessing of the holy life. So, what does it mean? The Buddha means to say that even though you read or you recite very little about the Buddha words, but if you put them into an action, the lopa, tosa, and moha will be eradicated. Why so? Because in Buddhism, the Buddha always emphasized the action. The Buddhism is the religion of action. When you know, when you understand, you have to be able to bring what you know, what you understand into the action. What is the action like? Action is the Dhamma. And that's why the Buddha also explained further that the little though he recite the sacred words, but if you put the Dhamma into the Dhamma practice, and that's how you can eradicate your a cause of the suffering. For example, the greed, the anger, and the delusion, or what we know as the lopa, dosa, and moha. And this Dhammapada is very interesting that it comes in the story of the two bhikkhus. The keyword is in the keyword is the holy ones. The holy one, or what we know as the samana, the holy one. That is the state or the phenomena that will appear when you can eradicate the lopa, dosa, and moha, or these three defilements, the basic defilement for the animal being, especially the human being.ขออนุญาตแปลเป็นภาษาไทยว่าหากผู้ใดกล่าวพุทธพจน์อันมีคุณแม้จะกล่าวเพียงเล็กน้อยแต่ถ้าประพฤติตามธรรมะที่ตนเองกล่าวสมควรแก่ธรรมราคะ โทสะโมหะแล้วรู้โดยชอบรู้โดยแจ้งมีจิตหลุดพ้นได้โดยดีจะไม่ยึดมั่นถือมั่นในโลกนี้หรือแม้กระทั่งโลกหน้าเขาย่อมมีส่วนแห่งคุณงามความดีเป็นผู้สงบมิน the holy one the Glaka Dosa and Moha when eliminated by the one who practiced so the point is when you know something when you have a knowledge that knowledge will be more valuable it will be valuable and it will give you an effect or become more effective when you put your knowledge into an action. That's the point. That's the main point. And that has become a great teaching of the Buddha. Every Buddha's. And this is come under the story of the two bhikkhus that the Buddha giving a Dhamma to. The next Dhammapada is the Dhammapada number 21. In the Pali Canon, it's saying Apamato Amatang Patang Pamato Majuno Patang Apamata Nami Yanti Ye Pamata Yatha Mata. We can translate it into English as the heedfulness is the path of the deathless. The heedlessness is the path to death. The heedful die not. The heedless are as if dead already. ถ้าแปลเป็นภาษาไทยก็จะได้ประมาณว่าความไม่ประมาทเป็นทางแห่งอมตะความประมาทเป็นทางแห่งความตายผู้ไม่ประมาทย่อมไม่มีวันตายผู้ประมาทถึงมีชีวิตอยู่ก็เหมือนคนตายแล้ว This was come under the story of the wife of the king during the Buddha time named Samawati. The key word in this verse is apamanta means ไม่ประมาท the heedlessness heedfulness ความไม่ประมาท which also has covered the full meaning of what is called mindfulness. And that's how we really emphasize to practice in practicing of the mindfulness to train the mind to know to having a full knowledge of the object that we are approaching through our sensory contact. For example, when we seeing something, when we speak something, when we smell something, when we hearing something. and the best way that we can having the mindfulness is to practice the mindfulness meditation, what we call it satipatthana, by using methodology of the anapanasati or the breathing meditation of the Buddha. How does the appamata works? When you having a full knowledge of everything, of the object that you're approaching, looking, hearing, smelling, or whatever you're approaching, you are the one who know. You are the one who fully know, understanding that object that has to be changed, that subject to be suffer, and you are not able to control it. In short, you know the three natures of all existence, all objects, what we call it, Trilakkana. And this is the truth that apply to all objects. When you have mindfulness working on an object, you know the truth of everything. When you know the truth of all existence or all object, you know how to handle it. You not allow your mind to engage, to have a fully engaged into that object. You having a gap between yourself, your mind, and that object. And that object, the gap between your mind and that particular object is a gap of peace, the gap of freedom, a gap of the nirvana. And that is the gap of what is called mindfulness, sati. So when you practice, when you make your mind fully trained, your mind is quick enough to understand the object, to know thoroughly about the object, the detail of that object, the sala, the essence, asara, the non-essence of that particular object. You know, you learn, you practice, you train your mind to enlighten. And that's how your mind become heedlessness. พอเรามีสติพอเราเจริญสติเราทำสติให้เจริญทำสติให้พัฒนาสตินั้นก็จะรู้แจ้งในอารมณ์ทุกอย่างที่เราเผชิญอยู่เช่นเรากำลังฟังเรากำลังกินเรากำลังทำงานอยู่ถ้ามีสติมันจะมีช่องว่างระหว่างจิตกับอารมณ์นั้นๆช่องว่างนั่นแหละครับคือช่องว่างที่ทำให้เกิดความสงบช่องว่างที่ทำลายกิเลสโดยไม่ยึดมั่นถือมั่นเพียงเป็นผู้รับรู้เป็นผู้รู้แจ้ง This is what we call the mindfulness. Amongst the Dhammapadas, in my perspective, this is what really useful Dhammapada. Because this, when you have sati, when you have mindfulness, You don't need anything. Otherwise, you have everything. Phật พระพุทธเจ้าเคยตรัสว่าการมีสติคือการมีสิ่งที่มีค่าที่สุดในชีวิตทำให้ชีวิตปลอดภัยมีความไม่ประมาทเที่ยงตรงในอารมณ์รู้แจ้งในอารมณ์มีชีวิตที่เป็นอมตะ or a deathlessness life. So the teaching of the mindfulness from the Buddha is a great teaching that does not actually appear in any other religion teaching. And it's the Dhamma that protect life, offer the safety for the life, and the Buddha taught the way how to develop the mindfulness, which is the greatest properties of the mind. And because of sati, because of the mindfulness, the Buddha got enlightened. And this can be applied to everyone who develop the mindfulness through the process of the meditation. Because during the meditation, there is a peace, there is a tranquility called passaddhi that allow you, that lighten up your mind to see the truth. What is wrong? What is right? And that's how you handle your life. And that's how your life safe. That's how your life not in danger. And that's how you prepare your life for the future with the mindfulness or heedlessness from the Dhammapada. Then we shall move to the next Dhammapada. This one is a Dhammapada number 25, referring to the Pali Canon. In the Pali, it's saying that Uttane nap pamateta sanya menatha metacha tipang kayirata metavi yang oko napi kirati. So let me translate into English. By an effort and his fullness, the discipline and the self-mastery, let the wise one make for himself and his island which no flood can overwhelm. The translation into English is very nice. ในภาษาไทยแปลว่าด้วยความขยันขันแข็งด้วยความไม่ประมาทด้วยความสำรวมระมัดระวังด้วยการข่มจิตข่มใจตนเองผู้มีปัญญาควรจะสร้างเกาะคือที่พึ่งแก่ตนเองที่ห่วงน้ำหรือกิเลสห่วงน้ำเหมือนคือกิเลสไม่สามารถท่วมได้ so I would like to emphasize what the Buddha means in his Dhammapada. This come into the story of the Jula Bantaka เรารู้จักกันในชื่อของพระจุลบันทก according to the Tripitaka. Uttana, the keyword. I'm trying to point out what is really great teaching that constitute the Dhammapada. The Uttana means the diligent คือความขยันขันแข็ง อัปปมาทะคือความไม่ประมาทหรือที่ผมกล่าวไว้แล้วคือ heedless heedfulness and then the restraint means ความสำรวม and then self mastery the self mastery คือความข่มใจ these are all the properties the good properties of the mind and this has been actually all inserted in the form of the Noble Eightfold Path. If you're looking in the short term of the Noble Eightfold Path as the Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, the diligence or an effort is the first quality of the mind that everybody can have it. When you paying your full effort, you are constructing the wall, protecting your wall, not allowing the kilesa or the defilement to come and play the role. So the role of the kilesa or defilement can be demolished. It's just like you constructing the fence. That kind of feeling appear when you keep doing things with your full effort, the full energy of the mind that put into an action continuously, and that can protect your mind, make your mind safe. The sense of building up the wall or constructing the wall as to protect the kilesa come into the role when you're performing anything, and it become a really wonderful state of mind that your mind will also having a mindfulness, the quality of the mind that can follow from when you are spending an effort or an energy on what you're doing, an action. And you're training your mind, not only having an effort, you're training your mind to have the tolerance, the khanti, and you're constructing what is called sati as well. See how significancy of the effort, and the effort itself is one of the Noble Eightfold Path. We call it Samma Vayama, which is a great property, the great quality of making your life success. Those who are interested to know the detail, to want to study the detail of this Dhammapada, please go in detail in the story of Pajula Bandhaka. Pajula Bantok. It's a very great story. We don't have enough time to talk in detail of the story today, but you can go find out maybe from the Googles that we offer you the detailed story of the Jula Bandhaka. The two brothers, Mahabandhaka and Jula Bandhaka. Very great story teaching about how you prepare your mind, how to train your mind to have a great qualities, to be on the path. And that path is the Noble Eightfold Path. The path to the liberation, the contentment that allow you to be freedom, or what is called liberation, to liberate, to detach what you have been attaching to. And this way called Majjhima Patipatha. It's only teaching in the Buddhism by the Buddha. The self-mastery means you are able to control your mind. You master your mind through the process of the meditation. That's how all the Buddhist practitioner using the samatha kammatthana or the concentration meditation to resume the good property of the mind. And that's how you become tolerant to the different objects. And that's how you're able to learn how to control your mind, not allow your mind to flow along with the kilesa or the object, the mental object that always we approaching, we touch, we speak, we hear, we see. If we're not training our mind to focus on one object, our mind will always go here and there, jumping along with liking, along with unliking. This is how we become suffer. And the property that you can resume is what is called patience. And it's become really durable, stable, strong. and this is the quality of the mind. When the mind has resumed this quality and new qualities that can be workable for the higher level of the practice, for example, insight meditation or vipassana. And that's how พระสาวกจุลปันธกะ success in the meditation to the great direction of the Buddha. In the story, พระจุลปันธกะ was really hopeless monk as compared to his brother Mahapanthaka. And nobody can teach him except Buddha. And that's how he get enlightened, from the teaching of the Buddha. And the great teaching that the Buddha offered to Julabandaka is the effort, the diligence, the heedfulness, the self-mastery, the patience. These are all the qualities that we all being should train our minds. And this quality, when the mind has, when we insert this quality to the mind, when we feed this food to the mind, and that mind become the noble minds. And the one who have a noble mind called the noble man or a noble being, the noble person. And such a quality of the mind is called Ariya Jit or Makha Jit. Then we can move on to the next Dhammapada. And this Dhammapada, I really love it. And I think it sounds very beautiful. The Pali is saying, Achirang Vatayang Kayo, Patawing Atisesati, Shutto Apeta Vinyano, Nilatang Wa Karingkarang. Before long, this body will lie upon the ground, left unheeded, without consciousness, like a used lock. พุทธเจ้าทรงตรัสกับพระเถระที่มีร่างกายเน่าเปื่อยพระเถระรูปนั้นก็คือพระติสสะเถระว่าอีกไม่นานร่างกายนี้จะนอนทับแผ่นดินถูกทอดทิ้งปราศจากวิญญาณก็ไม่ต่างอะไรกับท่อนไม้ที่ไร้ประโยชน์ The lock คือท่อนไม้ที่ไร้ประโยชน์แล้ว This come into the story of พระติสสะเถระ The key word in this verse, in this simile, is the kaya, mean the physical body. The Patavi means the earth or ในภาษาไทยเราเรียกว่าแผ่นดิน the earth the ปฐวี so from this Dhammapada what knowledge we gain the Buddha trying to explain that this physical body is a temporary object that fall under the three nature of all existence which are anicca, dukkha, anatta. He mentioned that everything is under the process of change, uncertain. Nothing is stable. One day we have to die. And when we die, it's just like a lock, a useless lock that lay on the ground without the mind, without consciousness. So the teaching offer you a knowledge that once we are still living, we are still alive, we should learn, we should prepare. So our death is going to become useful the consciousness that get out from the physical body should not return. That is an essence of this teaching. So when we are still alive, we have to train our mind to having a full knowledge, to having a mindfulness. So that we can enlighten our life. Otherwise, we will not different from the lock. That the consciousness once got out from the body, it will return again. And the same process is start in the samsara, in the samsara again and again. Hereafter, thereafter, you are suffer again in the samsara because you're not training your mind in order to get free from the body, get free from the sankhara, get free from the whole attachment that you attach, that your mind attach to the world, to the lock actually. So once we have a mindfulness is only thing that can overcome the ordinary life that you have to, when you die, your body left as a lock and you turn around again with your consciousness and you will be again die. Your body again as a lock lay on the ground. And the same process return. The same process keep repeated. You will never have a freedom. You were never free from the suffering. You always attached to the world, and that's how you spin yourself, because you're not training the mind in order to get free from the samsara or the sangsara vata. Your death become useless death. You're dead for birth. And that's how the ordinary people living their life. Birth, death, birth and death, death and birth. This is what we call the cycle of the horrible cycle, the samsara. So today I have brought a 5 Dhammapada that appear in the Tripitaka. In Pali Canon, it mentioned in book number 25, and it's really useful and more explained in the commentary, in the Buddhist commentary, and it has been a main teaching for those monks who are starting to study the Payoka 3 to Payoka 6. And the Buddha teaching in form of the poems, in form of the metaphor, or what we call it, simile. You know, the way that the Buddha taught during the Buddha life, he tried to compare. It's wonderful of his Buddha teaching. In the Buddha teaching, if he can, it's become a comparative teaching that can make different group of people that they are living in the atmosphere, in the different surroundings, should have a different teaching, and then he compare what is close to the one who are teaching, so that all the teaching of the Buddha is really 100% understood by the one who listening to his teaching, and all of them get enlightened, because his teaching is wonderful. He can compare what he want to teach to many things around the people who are listening to his teaching, and that has become a great teaching, what is called Dhammapada, in the Tripitaka, book number 25. There are all together 26 groups of the Dhammapada teaching that constitute that break down into 423 Dhammapada or teaching. So if those who want to go further in detail, please go to the Tripitaka in Pali Canon, the book number 25, or you can search from a Google. If you are not familiar with the physical book, you can go online, search from the Google Dhammapada. It will show up, it will pop up with the list of the Dhammapada, and you can pick, you can enjoy your reading. But the point that I want to focus to emphasize is, once you have a knowledge of the Dhammapada, you should bring that into an action. You have to implement, you have to apply your knowledge into the action, everyday life. And that's how you slowly eradicate your suffering. The cause of the suffering can be slowly and mindfully eradicated. and that is really how wonderful of the Buddha teachings called Dhammapada. And next time I try to bring more and more, maybe 5 Dhammapada each time, each session, maybe in Thai or sometime in Thai or sometime in English or both, to make clear understanding for those who are listening, not family with English or my English, so that we can understand clearly. I will bring sometime the Dhammapada in ภาษาไทยนะครับเพื่อให้เกิดความเข้าใจที่กระจ่างขึ้นผมพยายามจะนำทั้งภาษาอังกฤษและภาษาไทยของพระธรรมบทนะครับมาฝากทุกท่านที่ติดตามชมรายการ Dhamma for Life ของเพจวัดรัตนมยตารามแล้วก็วัดพุทธปัญญานทารามนครแวนคูเวอร์แคนาดานะครับ and that is all about today, and we'll come back to see you again on next Saturday morning. Before I leave the studio, I would like to wish everybody who are listening to this program, following this program as a Kalayana Mitra, as noble followers and noble friends, having a good life, be safe from the coronavirus pandemic, and be happy, wealthy, and prosperity. I would like to listening this program. จบ